Hey, how are you?
Zach?
Everybody good? Yeah, everybody good?
And Coach, coming off of the weekend road trip, anything that you think that the team did well, like areas that the team's been improving on?
Well, the last game I thought our effort, our energy was there, and our defensive identity was definitely at a high level. Offensively, we have to take care of the basketball. The guys know that. We'll continue to stress it and watch film and get on the floor and continue to work.
Can you give us an update on Brandon Ingram and maybe what he was able to do in practice today?
He had a full 5-on-5 practice where he got some work in, and we'll continue to evaluate him after today and see where he is and give you guys an update.
I know this is probably a better question for the trainer, but with the toe contusion, do you know really what's holding him back with that, or what kind of benchmarks he's looking to hit before he can come back?
So what was holding him back is just his pain. He was still feeling pain in his toe, and as the pain started to go away, he was able to do more. And so now he's starting to hit some of those benchmarks, which allows him to get back on the floor. He had a good day today. We'll see how he bounced back.
Coach, is there an expectation that maybe he'll play on this homestand, considering he went on 5-5 a couple days ago, and what he did today?
I don't know. We're hopeful. We'll see how it goes. Once again, he had a good day today, played 5-on-5, and that's something that he needed to do to get back on the floor and hopefully play in some games. We'll see how he responds after today's practice.
How do you know how to not rush a guy, Willie? Is there science to that?
We just try to rely on the medical team and our performance team. We feel like we got one of the best in that category, and we just try to, continue to have talks, set some goals, and listen to our guys and what they're going through and what they're feeling. And we don't want to put any guy on the floor if it's going to jeopardize his ability to have, to play the rest of the season. And so we just try to have a big picture mindset in that way.
Coach, do you have an update on Najee? Was he able to go through any parts of practice today?
Najee did too. He went through more of like half of practice. Said he felt good, but he's another guy. You kind of got to wait and see how guys respond the next day. Will they have some soreness? Will they feel fine? And we'll give you guys an update accordingly.
And how is Zion progressing? I think he's supposed to have a set of imaging either tomorrow or sometime this week.
Yeah, he'll have a set of imaging, and we'll know more once we see how his hamstring is doing.
Willie, in the last 4 losses, 3 of them, you guys have been up at halftime and then fall in the second half. What do you attribute maybe those struggles to in the second half?
Number one, we got to take care of the ball offensively. I think that's hurting us. Not getting opportunities to score and fueling teams' offense, fueling their defense by turning the ball over. I think that hurts us. And we just got to do a bit more. Whatever that is, that's rebounding sometimes that's making an extra play offensively. And we're right there, but we're just in one of those stretches where, we got to do a little bit more, and that's each and every guy, and just continue to make winning plays.
Turnovers are something that have come up throughout the season. It sounds so simple just to take care of the ball, but where does that start, and how do you do that?
It's games that we do it, and when we do, our offense is better, our defense is better. It starts with all of us. Continue to watch film on it, continue to get on the court and look at the things that works. We got to value possessions. When we do, our offense is elite, and our defense we can set our defense against teams. When we turn the basketball over, teams are getting out in transition and it's putting a ton of pressure on our group.
You guys are welcoming in one of the best shooting teams in the NBA with the Denver Nuggets. How do you approach trying to slow that group down?
Do what we do. Compete, defend, share the ball. That's our foundation. That's our identity. We know that they have an MVP candidate in Jokic. He'll get a ton of touches if he plays, and we got to try to make it tough on him. Make sure we rebound the ball, come with a defensive mindset, and go out and attack them.
Coach, you guys got into a nice groove after a long road trip early in November on the West Coast. Do you think you can maybe do the same thing, because you're going to have, 7 of the next 10 games at home? You're coming off, 7 of 8 away from Smoothie King. Do you think there's a good chance to get back into that groove that you guys had beforehand?
I think so. And, look, our guys are doing a lot of what we're asking them to do. This has just been a tough stretch for us, and we're falling a bit short in some of our games. But we'll get back on track. We just got to continue to stick to what we're doing. We'll tweak some things as we progress. But it's still a ton of good. I think it's going to be good for us in the long run that, we got guys out. Some of our young guys are getting the opportunity to step up and play major minutes. It builds their confidence. It also makes our depth stronger going into the latter part of the season. And so we're hopeful that we can get back on track soon.
Dyson Daniels, his role has expanded quite a bit, and he's one of the guys. Talk about how he's progressed and maybe a little bit ahead of where you thought he'd be at this point.
It's exciting to have a 19-year-old that is starting games for us, guarding some of the best players in the league, had a really good offensive game on both ends of the floor, rather, against Miami. So it was good to see. And once again, he's one of those guys that will continue to get better, getting a ton of experience, which we kind of saw it last year with Jose, with Najee, with Trey and Herb. That experience helped us going into the postseason. So we'll continue to have a big picture mindset, and once we get healthy, we'll see where we are.
Is it hard to close out games when you don't have two of your best players? I mean, can you attribute some of that to them?
It makes it more difficult, but that's the NBA. We're not the only team dealing with it. There are other teams that's dealing with it, and like I said, every guy on the team just has to do a bit more, make more winning plays to give us a chance. Our margin for error is small. It's why taking care of the basketball is important for us offensively.
What happens when you get frustrated? Do you get mad at all? I mean, we haven't seen that side. Can you explain what that looks like?
For sure. I'm frustrated, just like the guys are. But we've been through adversity before, not only in basketball but in our lives, and we all come out okay. And at the end of it, that's my mindset, is that for whatever reason we got to go through this. We'll come out stronger. We'll keep believing in each other. Enjoy this journey. Enjoy coming to work. And at the end of the day, once again, after games, we go home, we have a meal, we spend time with our families, and nobody's lives are in jeopardy. So we'll be fine. We'll be okay.
But do you think kind of like your medal as a head coach is being tested by all of this?
Absolutely. We're always going to be challenged, and I'm going to be challenged and tested. I get frustrated just like the team does, and it comes out sometimes in film, sometimes in practice. But, just trying to stay balanced is important for me.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, how are you feeling, Brandon?
Feel good. It's been a good last few days of me being back on the floor with my teammates, and kind of trying to figure out some things that I can do on the floor and continue to progress.
How has the pain management been?
I mean, it's been different. It's been different every single day, You never know the response that I'm going to get the next day, but I'm able to push. I'm able to push through.
Is there less and less soreness, Brandon? Is that how you would describe it?
In the beginning of the process, it's less and less soreness. Still fighting through some things, but it's just tolerable right now, and I'm able to do some things effectively.
And do you have an expectation of maybe another 3-game homestand coming up, of maybe playing in one of those games coming up?
If I feel up for it, that's the plan. Try to get back at it and try to ramp up a little bit. Try to get back integrated with my teammates, but just all in all, how I'm feeling on a day-to-day basis.
How did you do in the drills? Willie said you went 5 on 5. How did you feel today and last week?
I felt good today. I felt good last week. We continue to ramp up, testing out different movements and trying to see the reactions that I get. So I felt pretty confident and strong in everything that we're doing.
Did you feel it would be this long? Did you?
No. Actually, I've dealt with injury, and I pretty much know my body really, really well. So it's a little bit of confusion, a lot of patience in this process of trying to get back to where I'm 100% and can really, really push off and be who I am. But I didn't think it would take this long, but I had to listen to my body before I got back on the floor with my teammates and before I got back to playing basketball.
Do you feel like you're close now? And is it a matter of pain management, or is it, how do you know when your body's ready to be back?
Yeah, I feel like I'm close. At this point, it's what's ever tolerable, Not pushing over, but doing pushing where I know that I can be myself and pushing where I know that the pain is tolerable for me to be on the floor whenever I can. You know, I've been through injuries. I played on Achilles pain, really bad Achilles pain, and this is what I want to do. So if it's tolerable, I'll be on the floor.
When your team's not winning and you're not out there, how hard is that for you to deal with?
I mean, even when they are winning, you know, I love the game of basketball, and I like playing with my teammates more than anything. So just seeing them out there and knowing that I can be effective in some way hurts a little bit, of course. So I just try to make sure that I'm staying positive through this whole process and making sure that I'm the same person every time that I step on that bench, on the floor, and giving advice and being there for everybody.
Brandon, can you talk a little bit about the chemistry, the chemistry in this team, and how special that is?
I mean, that's something we've been talking about since last year, you know. Just having all our guys being the same age, even some of the older guys just buying in to what we bring to the floor. And, you know, the great thing about everything is everybody is in tune with getting better every single day. So that's the best thing. We have fun, but everybody really, really wants to work on their game every single day and figure out how we can continue to win basketball games, what we need to work on, what we can get better at. So I think that's the most beautiful thing out of our chemistry, out of the chemistry part, that we want to get better.
You know, what's it been like, the process in keeping or trying to maintain your conditioning? Because you're coming up, and I think now on 2 missed months. Does it feel like maybe you're entering a new season, training camp, because you haven't played in so long?
I feel like I'm a fresher body than everybody else. You know, everybody beat up. I just had a chance to let my body rest for a little bit and come back off an injury. I know maybe the first few games will be something for conditioning, but I feel I'm fine. I played the basketball game for a long time, so I'll be fine.
You've been able to watch the games just from a different perspective. In the last 4 games, you guys have been up in 3 of the last 4 losses at halftime. What do you attribute maybe some of the second half struggles from what you've seen?
You know, missing guys. You got a lot of variables out there that we can pinpoint. Every single night is something different. It's not one thing. Maybe it's a misread on the game plan. Maybe it's miscommunication. Maybe it's just something different every single time. So I can't pinpoint one thing, but I know one thing, that we have to get back to our habits. We have a small margin of error, especially when we have guys out that can really, really score the basketball. But we have to continue to build foundation of who we are on the defensive end, and the offense to take care of itself.
Thank you, BA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.